In today's video, I'll talk about a rather specific scenario, that of interviewing for a promotion, or if you just want to change departments. And oftentimes these types of interviews can be even more challenging because the expectations could be even higher that of an external candidate. So I'll talk about a couple of specific points to help guide you through this preparation process. The first one being, if you manage to find out what are the 3 most important qualities for the new role, you will significantly improve your chances to get a job. And I also advise this pretty much to anyone, to external candidates, but you being in this unique position, that of an internal candidate, you are a lot more likely to obtain this type of intelligence for the role. So this would be the first one. The second one here, if you have time to prepare, which you should, of course, take time to prepare, you should know that it is actually possible to hack these behavioral interviews by actually preparing most possible scenarios. And the reason why I'm mentioning it specifically for you as an internal candidate is because you have a pretty strong understanding of what means a quality answer. So for you, the probability of preparing all possible answers and preparing them superficially significantly decreases. So that's why you would want to also consider one such approach. I just published another video where I explain you how to hack a behavioral interview with a little bit more details. But I believe this is relevant advice, especially for internal candidates, where you might also have a little bit more insight when it comes to the types of questions you would want to expect in that experience. Number 3 here. Tailor your experience, your performance to the new role, not to the role that you are in right now. So the definition of behavioral interviewing is that they look at your past performance to predict your future performance on the job. This being said, your interview should be all about you and your performance today. So talk from the lens that you are today, not from the lens that you were 5 years ago. Even if your experience was 5 years ago, talk about it from the lens of your expertise right now, because this will, and of course, given the job description that you're applying for, because basically behavioral interviewing is a communication exercise, and the better you communicate that level of expertise, the higher your chances to score basically more points in these conversations. Next point here, number 4, show leadership. So oftentimes employers appreciate leadership, and oftentimes when you are already in an existing role, you tend to omit this element of showing leadership, or maybe you feel it's slightly uncomfortable to talk about leadership because you're talking to a colleague and it might sound like a bit unnatural. But you should show leadership, and you should show it in a natural way, whatever this means for you. But for example, for some people, it simply means talking a bit more energetic, or a choice of words is also the best strategy here. But showing leadership is something you want to keep in mind. If during the interview you feel like the interview is going in the wrong direction. In other words, the interviewer maybe gives you a subtle clue that, hey, yes, we're not really heading in the right direction here. Take more risk, right? I also published a couple of videos on how can you take more risk in job interviews, but this is also, by the way, something you can prepare in advance in order to make that risk more manageable in a way. But there's always this opportunity, this backup method, if you want, for you to take more risk, either through substance or to presence. So I'll let you watch that video if you want to learn more about this. And finally, of course, there are the questions that you would want to prepare for a behavioral interview, and there are many lists that I invite you to take a look over on this YouTube channel. But there's one a new question that you would want to add to that list, that specifically, why are you looking for a promotion, or why do you want to change roles or departments? And this is a very important question. So by no means you should skip preparing for this one. For example, to give a little bit of advice here, you could link your answer to why you're looking for a promotion to both your company's mission, values, or core principles. And you could also talk about how can you specifically make a difference, how can you differentiate yourself from other candidates. And last but not least, if you want to impress an HR professional, you would want to talk about your of where you see yourself in the next 5 years. So this being said, this would be the main elements you would want to keep in mind. Of course, the preparation goes pretty much the standard way as it would be for any interview. But I believe these points would hopefully help you to engage into a better conversation and have an ultimately superior outcome.